Hey there everyone, welcome back to Cowboy Survival. I'm Richard, and what we're going to do today is take a look at a new multi-tool I've got. It's the 19-in-1 multi-tool from Mossy Oak. Really kind of interesting tool, a new take on the idea of a survival multi-tool as opposed to a multi-tool you might carry in a tool bag or just in a backpack. So again, we're going to take a look at this. Remember, if you like the video today, please subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and remember to hit the notification bell so that when we issue new videos, you'll be sure to get them. So anyway, let's just get into the Mossy Oak 19-in-1 multi-tool. Okay, before we actually open up the Mossy Oak 19-in-1 multi-tool that I recently got, and is the real focus of this video, let's talk a little bit about some of these other multi-tools and their weaknesses and strengths. So this is a DeWalt multi-tool. It doesn't have a whole lot of tools on it. It's got a little eyelet here that's kind of, I don't know why it's got that eyelet on there, but it does. It's got, you know, your Phillips head and flathead. I've done a video on this. It does have a pair of scissors in it, which is kind of nice. So you got the scissors. None of these tools really lock in place, which is kind of, I think, disappointing. It has a knife blade on it, but the knife blade on it is very disappointing. As you can see, this knife blade it's very short, and and half of it is serrated, so it's really not very useful. It does have a liner lock for the knife, but that does not have a liner lock for the other tools. It's got a file, it's got a couple of things. It does not have a saw on it. It does have the pliers, and it is spring loaded, so that's kind of nice. Then I jump up, that was about $15 or $16 I paid for that off of Harbor Freight, off of Home Depot. Now, this is my Ozark Trail. You can get these down at Walmart for about $10 in the camping section. This is more of a survival multi-tool, where this is more of a tool bag multi-tool. This one's got you know, it's got the pliers on it that you'd expect to see. And it doesn't open real smooth like a Leatherman might. It's got the wire cutters, but they're not replaceable. They're just there. If they get dull, they get dull. It's not quite a needle nose, but it's a pretty good thin nose on that thing. So you close it down, and all the tools are on the outside, which I like. You've got a saw on it. You can take that saw, and you can see the saw is okay. You're going to be able to saw small things with it, I think. But it does not have a lock on it. So none of the tools on the Ozark Trail are going to have locks on them. Even the knife, which is very sharp, by the way. These knives all come really sharp. This knife does not have a lock on it, which is disappointing. It does have a sort of fish scaler that you can use, and the fish scaler has a little ruler on it that you can see right there. So I don't know, maybe that's useful. For 10 bucks, it's a nice little multi-tool to keep around. I've got a couple of these for 10 bucks. I keep one in my first aid bag, and then I've got this one. I need to add one to the first aid bag that's got scissors on it. This is the Gerber Truss. I've got a couple of these in my bags, in my get-home bag and my 3-day camping bag. This one, again, has the spring-loaded pliers, which is nice. Does not have the replaceable wire cutter teeth that some of them do. A lot of the Leathermans have that, which is kind of nice. But then again, do you want to spend 115, 120, 130 bucks on a Leatherman? I don't know. It's got, let's see, it's got a saw on it. So you've got a saw you can use. Now, the thing about this one, about the Gerber, is these do lock. So you've got this little slide button right here on the side. And what you do is you just take and pull it back, and then your item will close. This has a knife blade with a serrated edge on it. You see right there. It also has with it some other items. It's got a knife, a regular knife, but it's got a pair of scissors right here. So that's kind of nice. So it does have scissors on this one, where it did not have those on the Ozark Trail. And it's got a really sharp knife blade. Be careful with that knife blade if you get one of these, because it is sharp as a razor. It's got the screwdrivers on it that you normally want to see. It does not have, let's see if it's got I can't remember if it had it all on it. I think it does. That's one of the things. A lot of times these things are hard to get out. Let's see. I'm not seeing an all on this. It'd be kind of nice if it had one. Yes, it's got an awl right there. So it's got an awl right here. So if you wanted to sort of cut a little hole, you could. So that's good. But again, the major sharp blades will lock on this Gerber truss, so it's really nice. The next thing I want to do, now that we've seen what we normally would see in a multi-tool, let's go look at what's different about this Mossy Oak multi-tool and see why I kind of like it, see why I chose to buy this one. It cost me, I forget what it was about 30 bucks. It wasn't too bad. Got it off of eBay, excuse me, off of Amazon. And so we're going to open this up, see what it looks like. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up our Mossy Oak 19-in-1 multi-tool and see what we have inside the box. So what we've got when we open this up, first of all, comes a nice black box. It is made in China, so you can see that right down here. So this is not actually made by Mossy Oak. It's not made in the United States. It's made by a Chinese company and then distributed. So let's take this out of this box. It's in here very tight. They didn't waste any space in this box whatsoever. Man, I pulled the the bag right off of it. Okay, so what we've got is, put this back in. That's got a little bag. It comes in. It's got some little instructions. It tells us that our 19 tools include a ruler, a belt clip, knife with serrated edge, a fire starter, a whistle, and scissors. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tools. Also has long nose pliers, regular pliers, and wire cutters. There's 7, 8, 9, and a soft wire cutter as well. So that's 10. You then have an awl, and we'll talk about that with the loop. You have a large slotted screwdriver, small slotted screwdriver, a can opener, a wire stripper, a saw, a knife, and a window breaker, and a hammer, they call it. Okay, I don't know if I'd use that as a hammer, but that's how they get to 19 tools. So let's go look in this and see how this all works. So, we open this up. It comes in a standard little nylon case, just like you normally would see. Excuse me. Still getting over the cold I've had for the last couple weeks. And here's what it gets. Now, you get them in different colors. I got mine in the black, because I kind of like black multi-tools. You're seeing a lot of multi-tools now come with this feature on the end, which is they call a hammer. I don't know if I don't know how heavy that is or if that's metal. I mean, hopefully it's metal. It's got a little serrated edge on the top, so if you're hammering, you can boom, 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 so you can hammer with it. You can see right here, a little glass breaker. I think the way you would really want to use this is to open this up, and then you could hold it like this with your hand, and you could break the glass with it. I need to go to a junkyard and actually test some of these glass breakers. It does have the pliers. These are not spring-loaded pliers, so that's fine. But if you'll notice, it does have replaceable wire cutters in there, so that's really cool. The bits for the wire cutters are replaceable. I guess you can get those from Mossy Oak. Haven't looked on their website. A couple other things you might notice about this. It does have a ruler on it, so if you open it up like this, you actually get kind of a, just open it that way, you get the rulers. It's got measurements, both markings on this side and that side, also over here and over here. So you got your markings. Now, some of your tools are going to be accessible from the open position here. So if I open this up, you've got some tools that are right in the back of the handle. This is where you're going to find, let's see, that's your can or your can opener, and it's got a little notch here that they say would be good for wire cutters. I don't know, I'll take their word for it. Then we've got, let's see what else we have here. We have, this is, I guess, your awl, or maybe that's your awl right there. It's kind of a sharp blade. It's a little blade is what it is, and all with that. Then it's got this little tool here. Not sure what that tool is, but it's got a little screwdriver here. This is almost like it's a little bitty, it's a mini screwdriver is what it is. A little bitty mini screwdriver right there. And then it's got the regular screwdriver right there. I do not see a Phillips head on this, but that's okay. I didn't buy this for a screwdriver. It does not have any tools on the other side. So the 4 tools on the inside are this way. To get to the final tools, you got to close this back up. And what do you have in here? Well, you've got a file. It's a big file. It's a good size file. I don't know why, but it's got the rough on this side, the fine on that side, and it does have a liner lock. So you just press it right here, press that in, and it locks. Now, next it's got on this side, it also has a pair of scissors over here, and they're a little hard to get out, but it does have a pair of scissors. Now, these scissors are not spring-loaded either. Okay, so there's no spring loading in those scissors the way there was in the Gerber. That's okay. I'm not really buying those for the scissors. Now, it's supposed to have a liner lock, and it's got the liner lock right here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's not engaged. It doesn't engage at all. So I don't quite understand why they bothered to put a liner lock when this liner lock does not engage at all. The only place it engages is a little nib on it, and when you try to close it down, it does that. Well, okay, I don't know if that's a big deal. I can just push it right past. It just stops it just briefly. It's not a real liner lock. It doesn't press in at all. So I don't know if that's defective or if it's just a poor design. I'm not really sure, but that liner lock isn't very useful. Now, on the other side, you've got a couple of these. You've got a knife blade. This knife blade is typical of a lot of these knife blades. It's a couple inches long. It's got a knife edge on this side. It's got serrated edge down here. It does also have a liner lock. Then over on this side, you got a nib right here you pick up, and it's got a nice little saw on it. And it's also got a little liner lock. That's a nice little saw. Looks like it'll saw in both directions, so that's nice. And you close that down. Now, the final tool on this is one of the reasons I bought this, and it is this fire starter. I did a video back last fall where I looked at several multi-tools, and one of my complaints was two things I wanted to see on a multi-tool. I wanted to see, one thing I mentioned, I wanted to see a hacksaw blade. We don't have that. I'd rather have a hacksaw blade than have this file. The file is kind of useless to me, but a hacksaw blade would be really nice to have in this, to cut through metal or whatever. Then the other thing I said is I'd like to see a fire starter. Why would you not, if you're going to have a item, why would you not have a fire starter for it? And in fact, this one does. And in fact, so I've seen these. I don't know how new this is, but I think it's a pretty new product by Mossy Oak. I saw a one by Gerber. It's the new Gerber Spark. It actually has a fire starter with it. And then there's a new Leatherman that also has a fire starter with it. But this one, of course, doesn't cost as much. The fire starter comes up like this. You get to a point right here, and you'll notice there's little nibs right here. They will pull right out of that notch. See that notch? And you just put them right back. You just put that right back into that notch when you're ready to put this thing away. And it folds right back down and doesn't come out. But you take this, you can pull this out of here, and you can then do this. Let's see if this will work. I'm going to take let's take this first, see if this will work. It's got kind of a 90-degree edge on it. Let's see if it will do a spark. It's a little spark. I'm not getting much of a spark from this. I'm going to be honest with you. If you're going to give me a ferro rod, give me one that's got a good sparker. It's going to spark well. This one just isn't. This doesn't want to spark real well at all. There it goes. I don't know. It's okay. In an emergency, it would be fine. I would not want to depend on this fire starter for my to start me a fire and save my life. But it is a little fire rod that is included, and I like that. I would hope that you could get replacements for that, because since it detaches from the multi-tool, it could probably get lost very, very easily. So there you go. It does have a pocket clip on it also, in case you're interested in the pocket clip. As those of you know me know, I don't particularly care for pocket clips. Pretty standard little sheath as sheaths go. But there you go, the Mossy Oak Multi-Tool with a fire starter on it. So really cool little item. Really excited to have it, and I added this to one of my bags. Well, I hope you found that review interesting of the Mossy Oak 19-in-1 multi-tool. If you remember, it's got the 19 tools, it's got the fire starter, It's got the pliers that are not spring-loaded. It's got a lot of tools on it. It's got a knife, it's got a saw. Like I said, my favorite thing is the fire starter that's on it. So anyway, really nice, interesting little multi-tool that you can get. I'll link it down below where you can get it off of Amazon. You might find this to be an interesting add to your kit. So, hope you liked the video today. Remember to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so that when we issue new videos, you'll be sure and get them. In the meantime, remember what we always say: stay strong, stay prepared, and have a blessed day. We'll see you real soon right here on Cowboy Survival.